Now, before we start our little talk, we're going to have a demonstration here. So, Gerard, there's Gerard. Now, we are very much worried about Christmas attendance this weekend. I have to be honest with you, and every priest will tell you the same thing. That's why all those signs are up at every major corner in North Scranton. Shopping for a church? Come here. Now, notice where Gerard has sat. He does what many Catholics do, and other religions. He sat at the end of the pew. So you get the person who doesn't come to church very often, and they're looking for a seat. And they can't find a seat. And many Catholics would rather die than move in from that end of the pew. Now, what Gerard should do is move into the middle of the pew and sit there. The way it's supposed to work. Now, the liturgy committee discussed us doing this. I'm going to do it every Mass before Gerard. But that's important. If you wonder why they don't come back, if they weren't ready to feel welcome, they'll go somewhere else. And there are other else's. Just a little message there. Move in. Especially if this is your Mass, 4 o'clock Mass. Alright? Whatever. You don't hear the scriptures as they are. You hear the scriptures as you are. Okay, that's an old line, I use it occasionally. Different people hear different things. Depending on your gender, your age, etc. There's no better example than the Christmas stories. Different people will hear different things. Young kids, if you're teaching a class about the infancy stories, will ask different questions than a 60-year-old, somebody my age. It's like a kid will raise his hand and say, Father, are we really expected to believe that the Virgin could give birth? Like, I know my biology, Father. They taught me the birds and the bees. I know that stuff. That's not possible. And Elizabeth, who was probably about my age, 60, and has been trying to get pregnant all her life, but had been barren. Now she gets pregnant when she's far too old biologically. Like, Father, that's crazy. And at least they're paying attention. To which I'll respond, it's not a biology class. And then some other kid will raise their hand and say, no, Father, like, Luke and Matthew, they give a long genealogy. It's listed in the book for Christmas, a long genealogy that is nowhere near historically correct. Impossibly. It's not, and I'll say that, you're right, but this is not a history lesson. And then some kid will raise their hand and say, Father, I don't know how much they knew about being pregnant in those days, but I think they would know that Mary should not be running as a pregnant woman through the hills to visit her cousin. I mean, I think they probably knew a pregnant woman should take it easy. I assume they did. And then the real smart aleck in the class will say, and instead of bringing diapers and baby wipes, they brought gold, frankincense, and myrrh. You know, I mean, why would they do that? And you say, but it's not a class in logic. It's not a biology class, it's not a history class, and it's not a logic class. It's a love story. And until you understand that, which maybe the 16-year-old can't, but the 66-year-old does, then you miss Christmas. Because for love, you do crazy things. Love is always crazy. Some of you sat up there at the mall at 2 o'clock in the morning on Black Friday to buy a present for your kid. Because otherwise you might not be able to afford it. And you want the kid to get it. Because you love the kid, you did something crazy. But you do it. Love makes us do those things. For love, a man will gather together all the money he can to go to that jewelry store at the mall, and 2 nights from now bend on one knee and give that ring to his girl, hoping and praying that she will say yes. Spending money he doesn't have, but because he wants to show her how much he loves her. But love makes you spend that money. Because of love, somebody in their 40s will spend the night or weeks with a dying parent and stay by their bedside, even if the parent doesn't know who they are. Because of Alzheimer's. But out of love, you will do that. Out of love for country, men and women are over in the Middle East now defending us, and they won't be home for Christmas. Now, yeah, they don't know when, how, or if they'll ever come home. But for love of their country, the soldier does that. Crazy, but they do it. Dangerous, but they do it. And once you realize it's a love story, then you ask different questions. For example, if you notice on the altar, Notice how the Advent candle on the left, which has been burning for 4 weeks, has gotten shorter than the other ones. As you get older and you burn down, boy, I feel everything burning down. Nothing works, like, my legs don't work, but you ask different questions as you get older. You ask different questions. What's it about? It's about love. And only love gives us joy, and only joy gives us peace. Don't worry about the biology. Kids do that. We older people should be asking, God is crazy about us. Let us stand, my friends, and we'll profess our